Welcome back to our channel. You know that old is gold, but these coins that are most valuable. You are lucky if you have one of these. Please watch complete video. Let's start this. What if I told you that a 5-cent coin in your junk drawer could be worth over $850,000 today? Yes, you heard that right. One seemingly ordinary 1990p Monticello Thomas Jefferson nickel has just shaken the numismatic world. Valued at $854,000 in the current market, and that's just one coin. Imagine turning pocket change into generational wealth. Let's rewind. It's 1990. The Cold War is cooling down, grunge is on the rise, and the US Mint is pumping out nickels like there's no tomorrow. Among them, millions of Thomas Jefferson nickels, stamped with a humble P mint mark from Philadelphia. Most of them worth exactly 5 cents. But then, a few were different. Rare minting errors, dye varieties, and pristine, untouched conditions numismatic unicorns escaped into circulation. Coins that looked average to the untrained eye. But to experts, hidden fortune. Let's be honest. When's the last time you inspected a nickel like it owed you money? And here's the gut punch. Most people spend these coins without realizing their value. Could you have already lost out on $500,000 just by handing over your lunch change? So, what makes this 1990p Jefferson nickel so special? And why are collectors throwing six figures at it? Stay with me. You'll want to check your old coin jars immediately after this. Let's break it down. This rare nickel isn't valuable just because of its date or design. After all, the Monticello reverse has been on nickels since 1938. The real value lies in 3 specific features. Think showroom condition. Not a scratch, not a fingerprint, just pure, untouched luster. Only a handful exist like this. Mint error or dye variety, the one that sold recently. Featured a double dye reverse. A slight shift in the Monticello lettering, subtle, but powerful. To collectors, this is like finding a rare misprint on $1 million painting. Low population. The Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, has graded only a few 1990p nickels at this high a grade, creating scarcity that fuels sky-high prices. One of these rare nickels recently hit the auction block and sold for $854,000. That's more than a Ferrari 812 Superfast or a beach house in Florida. All for a coin that might be hiding in a mason jar under your sink. And here's the kicker, it's not just this coin. There are dozens of other rare nickels out there waiting to be discovered. What if yours is next? But here's the million-dollar question. How do you know if you have one of these rare nickels? I'll tell you exactly what to look for, down to the detail. Coming up next. Alright, if you're still watching, here's your blueprint to uncovering a life-changing nickel. Gather your nickels, old jars, change trays, dresser drawers, search everywhere. Especially for nickels from 1990 with the P mint mark. Inspect the condition, use a magnifier. Look for sharp edges, no scratches, and full luster. If it looks fresh out of the mint, it's worth checking further. Look for errors, double dye reverse, off-center strikes, weak steps in the Monticello building. Any of these could be gold mines. Get it graded. Contact a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. A high grade could turn that 5-cent piece into a 6-figure payday. Don't clean the coin, ever. Cleaning destroys value faster than spilling soda on a Picasso. Imagine selling that nickel for $854,000, paying off your mortgage, sending your kids to college, retiring early, traveling the world. All from a coin you almost threw away. This isn't just about nickels. It's about opportunity hiding in plain sight. Will you take action? Or will someone else find the treasure you overlooked? Because here's the twist. Another 1990p Jefferson nickel just surfaced, and it's rumored to be worth even more. Will you be the one who finds the next $1 million nickel? Subscribe now, because in the next video we'll cover the top 5 rare nickels that are still out there, waiting to make someone wealthy beyond their dreams. What if I told you that a coin you tossed into a jar 30 years ago could now be worth $854,000? And even more shocking, there's a version of this coin that collectors are hunting down right now for over $1 million. No, this isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a Jefferson nickel from 1993, with a hidden secret only a few people know about. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to spot this fortune in your own pocket change, and how people just like you are turning forgotten nickels into a wealthy lifestyle. Let's set the scene. It's 1993. Jurassic Park dominates the box office, Bill Clinton takes office, and quietly, the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia strikes a batch of nickels, bearing the iconic image of Thomas Jefferson and Monticello. Most people didn't pay attention. Why would they? It was just another 5-cent coin. But in that ordinary year, an extraordinary minting anomaly occurred. A misstrike, a rare variation, and extremely limited production that led to what collectors today call the $1 million Monticello nickel. Sounds like a Nicolas Cage movie plot, right? But this is 100% real history. The most valuable of these 1993 nickels bears the P mint mark and a microscopic flaw that only expert collectors and auction houses know how to spot. One of these sold for $854,000 in a private auction in 2024. That's not a typo. $854,000. That's enough to buy a brand new Tesla for you, your spouse, and still have enough left over for a lake house in Michigan. Or, pay off your credit card. Now, before you sprint to your coin jar, take a deep breath, because not all 1993 nickels are worth a fortune. But there are specific telltale signs you need to look for. First, check for the P mint mark, right on the obverse, near Jefferson's ponytail. Second, inspect the coin for a unique double die reverse. Look for ghosting or shadowing on the word Monticello or E pluribus unum. Third, condition matters. Coins graded MS67 or higher, that's mint state, are extremely rare. That's where the $1 million magic happens. If your eyes are squinting and you're wondering if you're seeing things, grab a magnifying glass, or better, visit a local coin shop. Don't clean the coin, ever. Collectors want it raw and unpolished. One accidental scrub with toothpaste could turn an $800,000 treasure into a 5-cent heartbreak. Imagine making that mistake. Telling your grandkids you once had $1 million coin, but you thought it had gunk on it and gave it a nice toothbrush bath. Maybe you're wondering if you actually own this coin, or maybe you're feeling a mix of curiosity and FOMO. This isn't just about a coin, it's about what it represents. Freedom. Opportunity. Legacy. One viewer last year sold their rare nickel collection and bought their dream RV to travel the U.S. Another paid off medical debt. Another retired early and moved to Florida. Go through your change jars, drawers, and old collections, especially coins from 1993 with the P mint mark. Get them appraised, locally or via certified online coin dealers. Subscribe to channels like this one for insider tips and coin market trends. Because here's the cliffhanger, there's another coin, even rarer, from the same era, and it's selling for over $2.50 million. But we'll be revealing that in next week's video. So hit that like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because your journey to uncovering $1 million coins is just beginning. And remember, sometimes the smallest things in life can lead to the biggest treasures. Now go check your nickels, you just might be sitting on a fortune. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin, or if you just checked your 1993 nickels and found something interesting. And download our free $1 million nickel checklist in the description to help guide your search. What if I told you that sitting in your junk drawer, collecting dust, is a coin that could be worth almost $1 million? Yes, a single nickel, a 2006 P Monticello Jefferson nickel. To be exact, one of these unassuming 5-cent pieces recently shook the collector world with a staggering market value of $957,000. That's right. The same kind of coin you might have used to buy a gumball in 2006 could now buy you a Lamborghini, a luxury home, or even your early retirement. So, before you go rating the couch cushions, let's talk about what makes this coin so outrageously valuable, and how you might already own one. First, let's get technical. But don't worry, I'll translate. The 2006 P Monticello nickel features Thomas Jefferson's portrait on the obverse, and the classic Monticello building on the reverse. But what sets this coin apart is how it was minted, and how few like it exist. Now here's the cliffhanger. Not all 2006 P nickels are worth a fortune. In fact, 99.99% of them are just spare change. But there's a fraction, and I mean microscopic, that were struck with a minting error or rare die variation. Some show doubling, off-center strikes, or even mirror-like finishes from special mint sets that accidentally entered circulation. The rarest of these have been graded MS67 or higher by experts, And those are the ones hitting the high six-figure mark at auction. Imagine this, you sell your rare nickel for $950,000, pay off your mortgage, book a flight to the Caribbean, and never worry about gas prices again. All from a coin you nearly gave to a vending machine. But now comes the big question. How do you spot one of these life-changing nickels? Here's what you need to do, starting today. Check the mint mark. Look for the P mint mark just next to Jefferson's ponytail. If it's a 2006, don't spend it yet. Examine the coin closely. Use a 10x magnifier or jeweler's loupe. Look for double die errors, especially in the Monticello text, proof like mirror finishes, die cracks, or off-center strikes. Get it graded. If anything looks off or extraordinary, send it to PCGS or NGC. The top 2 coin grading services in the USA. Certified grade of MS 65 or higher can instantly multiply your coin's value tenfold or more. Know where to sell. Rare coins like this are fetching massive auction prices on platforms like Heritage Auctions, eBay Elite Listings, and exclusive private sales. Some collectors are even waiting in line with cash in hand. And here's the thing, with inflation climbing, more people are putting their wealth into tangible assets like rare coins. That means demand is high. But for how long? In our next video, we'll reveal 3 other nickels from the 2000s that are quietly selling for 6 figures, including one you probably spent last week without even knowing it. So don't let this chance slip through your fingers. The next time you hold a nickel, ask yourself, is this just 5 cents? Or the key to your financial freedom? Hit that like button if you've ever tossed a coin without thinking. Subscribe for more rare coin reveals. And drop a comment if you're checking your stash right now. Because the journey to wealth might just start with what's already in your pocket. What if I told you there's a nickel in your change jar right now that could be worth more than a Ferrari? A single 2008 Thomas Jefferson Monticello nickel with a D mint mark just sold for a jaw-dropping $754,000. And the craziest part, it looks just like every other nickel. Don't throw away your wealth. Because while others are cashing in, most Americans are unknowingly tossing their fortune into vending machines. Be honest. When was the last time you actually looked at a nickel? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know how to spot the $754,000 nickel, why the 2008 D Monticello Jefferson nickel is so valuable, and how you could turn your pocket change into a luxury retirement. Let's unlock the mystery of the nickel that could make you a millionaire. Every year, Americans lose millions of dollars in forgotten coins, nickels, pennies, dimes, just tossed aside. Maybe they're sitting in an old coffee can in your garage, or that drawer in the kitchen we all pretend doesn't exist. 2008 was a year that quietly minted one of the most valuable modern nickels in US history. And few people, even collectors, saw it coming. Why? Because this wasn't a coin from the 1800s, this was barely 15 years ago. A modern-day mistake. A fluke. A minting error that turned a common coin into a priceless treasure. And the key is hidden in one tiny detail that 99.9% of people miss. Let's talk about the 2008 D Monticello Jefferson nickel. First, look for the D mint mark. That means it was minted in Denver. Certain 2008 D nickels were struck with a highly rare reverse error, a microscopic flaw on the Monticello building that only appears under magnification or close inspection. Think of it like a birthmark that turns an ordinary coin into a lottery ticket. These rare errors created a wave of bidding wars at coin auctions. One of these flawed nickels, graded MS67 full steps by PCGS, shocked the numismatic world by selling for over $754,000. That's more than the average home in 47 states. Values are still climbing as collectors and investors scramble to grab the last known examples in pristine condition. But I don't know anything about coins. I just want to retire, travel, live without worrying about bills. Well, here's your opportunity. You sell a $754,000 nickel. You wipe out your mortgage. You buy that cabin by the lake. You finally breathe. But wait, don't grab every nickel and run just yet. Here's what to look for in your 2008 D Jefferson nickel. Mint mark D on the obverse front. The classic Monticello reverse, but check for sharp, crisp steps. Lines must be completely visible with no breaks. Doubling, discoloration, unusual luster. Graded and slabbed by PCGS or NGC. Even better. Not sure how to grade a coin? Don't worry, you don't need to be a coin nerd. You just need curiosity and 5 minutes. And here's something you won't believe, one of the most valuable nickels ever found came from a gas station's change tray. We're diving deep into the legendary 1962 no-mint mark Monticello Jefferson nickel, a coin that looks ordinary, but hides a story of mystery, rarity, and life-changing wealth. If you've ever dreamed of cashing in old coins, this could be your golden, or should I say, nickel-plated, ticket. Let's go treasure hunting. Let's rewind to 1962. America was buzzing. The Cold War, Kennedy in the White House, Marilyn Monroe on magazine covers, and quietly, the U.S. Mint was striking nickels like it did every year. But something unusual happened. That year, a small batch of Jefferson nickels with no mint mark slipped through. Now, normally, no mint mark meant the coin was struck in Philadelphia. But collectors noticed strange anomalies: off-center strikes, unusually sharp details, and most intriguingly, a low population in near-perfect condition. This wasn't just a nickel anymore. It was a numismatic anomaly. What's more powerful than a Bitcoin? A nickel with a backstory. Imagine explaining that to your financial advisor. Yeah, I'm liquidating my assets in Jefferson's. He'd probably short-circuit. But here's where it gets interesting. In early 2024, a pristine 1962 no-mint mark Jefferson nickel sold at auction for a staggering $957,000. Not a typo. Not a fantasy. Nearly $1 million for a 5-cent coin. Why? Condition is everything. Coins graded MS66 and above are ultra-rare for this issue. Most nickels from 1962 were pocket change, abused, scratched, or oxidized. But the few that survived in pristine condition, they're museum grade. Minting error theories. Some believe these coins were part of a special strike batch or experimental die test. Others think they were double-struck. Either way, collectors love a good mystery. Insane buyer demand. As more baby boomers and Gen Z start collecting, the demand for rare nickels is skyrocketing. The result? Prices like $957,000 are no longer a fluke. They're a market trend. But here's the million-dollar question: could you have one of these nickels sitting in a jar right now? Stick around, because in Act 3, I'll show you exactly how to check, what to look for, and how to turn that coin into cash. First things first, go grab your coin jar. Yes, the one under the bed, in your kitchen drawer, or buried in your late uncle's toolbox. 1962 no mint mark below Monticello on the reverse side, sharp strike. Monticello's pillars should be crisp full steps. That's the holy grail. All steps clearly visible equals big bucks. No major wear. It must look almost untouched now. If you think you've found one, don't clean it. No scrubbing, no polishing. That could drop the value from $900,000 to 9 cents. Get it professionally graded. Services like PCGS or NGC will authenticate and grade your coin. If it's above MS65, you might want to sit down before opening the offered. And by the way, if you're thinking, this can't happen to me, one seller found a rare nickel in his father's World War II keepsake box. Sold it, paid off his mortgage, bought a boat. Now he's retired in Key West. These nickels are getting rarer by the day. Each year, more are damaged, lost, or melted. Which means the ones that survive just got more valuable. Right now, you're not just holding coins, you're holding a legacy, a gateway to financial freedom, a chance to turn a dusty drawer into a 6-figure future. So check your change. Check your past. Because that one nickel could buy your future. Imagine waking up one morning, reaching into your old coin jar, and realizing you're holding a tiny piece of metal that could be worth $754,000. Sounds like a dream, right? But it's not. It's a reality for those lucky enough to own one of the rarest nickels ever minted in the U.S. The 1998 D. Monticello Thomas Jefferson nickel. Pause for effect. And yes, that's nearly $750,000. For a 5-cent coin you might have used to buy a gumball back in the day. Beat. Music shifts slightly. If you're between 30 and 65 and you've ever saved old coins, inherited a jar from grandpa, or just have a dusty drawer full of forgotten change, listen closely, because your path to a wealthier life might be hiding in plain sight. Let me take you back to 1998. Bill Clinton was president, Google was just being founded, and the U.S. Mint in Denver quietly produced a coin that would become legendary, though almost nobody knew it at the time. And no, it wasn't some top-secret government conspiracy. The only scandal here is how many people have unknowingly spent this coin at the local vending machine. The 1998 D. Monticello Jefferson nickel looks ordinary. But it's the imperfections, the details, and the rarity that make it extraordinarily valuable. A small minting anomaly, coupled with its limited release, has skyrocketed its worth in collector markets. One recently fetched $754,000 in a private auction. Still think that coin jar's just junk? Let's talk about what makes your nickels potentially life-changing. So, what exactly should you be looking for in a 1998 D nickel? Zoom in on Monticello side of the coin. First, the D mint mark. It must be clearly stamped under Monticello on the reverse side. But here's where it gets interesting. Some coins show a misaligned or double strike, faint die cracks, or what collectors call a full steps Monticello, meaning the steps of Jefferson's famous home are fully visible and unbroken. These slight features can mean the difference between 5 cents and $500,000. But here's something even most collectors don't know. The real jackpot isn't just in what you see. It's in what you don't see. We'll get to that in a second. Pattern interrupt, humorous. By the way, if you're now eyeing your piggy bank like it's Fort Knox, good. You should be. These coins are now vanishing from circulation. Every year, more are bought up by collectors, sealed in private collections or lost to time. If you have one, the clock is ticking. Let's talk about Mike, a 62-year-old retiree from Colorado. He found his 1998 D Jefferson nickel in a coin roll he bought for $2. He sold it for $198,000, enough to pay off his mortgage, buy a new truck, and still have a chunk left for retirement. Or Linda, a 45-year-old single mom who inherited a coin collection from her grandfather. At the bottom of a tobacco tin, buried in dust, was a nickel she later auctioned for $412,000. This isn't just about money. It's about freedom, about turning clutter into capital, and about unlocking value where no one else sees it. Urgency. And here's the kicker. Right now, coin dealers and private collectors are aggressively buying. The market is hot. Demand has never been higher. If you wait, you risk losing thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands. So what do you do now? Here's your step-by-step to possibly discovering a fortune in your own home. Check your coins, especially any 1998 Jefferson nickels. Look for the D mint mark and pristine Monticello details. Use a magnifying glass to examine the steps on Monticello. Full steps equals $. Compare it with verified images from coin grading services like PCGS or NGC. If you suspect you've struck gold, get it professionally graded. Do not clean it, you might destroy its value. Contact a reputable dealer or auction house for offers. Cliffhanger leading to next video or channel call to action. But what if I told you there are other nickels, even older, even more valuable, hiding in plain sight? In our next video, we'll uncover the 1942p war nickel that's climbing towards 7 figures in the private market. So hit that subscribe button, because your next coin could be the key to early retirement. What if I told you that very nickel could be worth over $654,000? And no, this isn't a scam, a lottery ticket, or a get-rich-quick scheme. This is real money, and it could be in your pocket right now. Welcome to the astonishing world of rare coins, where a simple 1988 D mint mark Thomas Jefferson Monticello nickel might just be your key to generational wealth. Stay with me, because in the next 10 minutes you're going to learn how to spot this rare nickel, why it's worth a fortune, and how you could sell it for life-changing money. And hey, before you toss that ugly old change in a vending machine for a stale bag of chips, you might want to watch this first. Now, let's set the stage. It's 1988. Ronald Reagan has just left office. The average price of gas is 91 cents, and the U.S. Mint is producing millions of standard Jefferson nickels. But among those countless coins, a very small number were struck with a minting error. A subtle, almost invisible defect that would go unnoticed by millions, except for a select few who know exactly what to look for. These are the 1988 D Monticello nickels with die cracks, doubling, misaligned strikes, or extremely rare full steps on the Monticello building, sharp, defined steps that collectors drool over. One of these sold for $654,500 in a private sale. Why? Because it was graded near perfect and had characteristics so rare, experts called it one dash of dash a dash kind. So imagine holding something in your hand that looks like pocket change, but is actually a ticket to a wealthy lifestyle? Great question. And the answer lies in a cocktail of scarcity, condition, mint errors, and historical significance. Scarcity. Only a handful of these 1988 D nickels with specific mint errors exist. Coin grading companies like PCGS and NGC have only seen a few in near-perfect condition. These include rare strike-throughs, off-center designs, or the coveted full steps designation, which refers to the sharp visibility of all 5 or 6 steps on Monticello. It's like finding a unicorn in nickel form. Coins in mint state MS65 or higher sell for a fortune. MS67 and above? Practically the holy grail. Collectors chase anomalies. A flawed coin is a perfect coin in their world because it tells a story. But here's the twist. Most people who find these have no idea what they're holding. Some even spend them unknowingly at convenience stores. Are you making that mistake right now? Think about it. Somewhere out there, a guy probably paid for gas with a $500,000 nickel. And now he's sitting in traffic wondering why his life hasn't changed. Grab a magnifying glass and check the back of your 1988 nickel for laughing face. Mint mark, Denver. Full steps on the Monticello building doubling. Off-centering. Cracks if anything seems off or unusual. Do not clean the coin. This can destroy its value. Send it to a reputable grading company like PCGS or NGC. For a small fee, they'll professionally grade and authenticate it. Once graded, list it on heritage auctions, great collections or eBay, or work with a rare coin broker. Cash out or hold. Some coins increase in value the longer you wait, especially if demand spikes. But remember, every day these coins get lost, spent, or damaged. The window of opportunity is closing fast. And if you think this is a once-in-a-lifetime moment, you're right. You don't need to win the lottery. You don't need to invent the next iPhone. You just need a sharp eye, a little knowledge, and the courage to act. That 1988 D nickel sitting in your drawer, jar, or glove compartment could be your first step toward financial freedom. What if I told you that a small, dull-looking nickel sitting in your junk drawer could be your golden ticket to a $734,000 payday? Yes, you heard that right, over $700,000. And not some myth or urban legend, I'm talking about a very real, very rare 1989 D mint mark Monticello Jefferson nickel. A coin that's taken collectors by storm. And no, you don't need to go treasure hunting in sunken ships or Indiana Jones your way through ancient ruins. You might already own it. Seriously. Only a handful of these coins are known to exist in mint condition. And in this video, I'll show you exactly what to look for, how to sell it, and how some ordinary Americans, just like you, are turning pocket change into massive wealth. So stay with me, because in 10 minutes, your entire financial future might look very different. Let me tell you a quick story. In early 2024, a retired truck driver in Arizona stumbled upon an old jar of nickels while cleaning out his garage. Among them was a dusty, slightly discolored 1989 D Jefferson nickel. Now here's the wild part. It had a rare error. A slightly off-center strike, a full-step Monticello design, and mirror-like proof features. He sent it for grading, and guess what? It sold at auction $4,734,000. Hey honey, I found a nickel and bought us a house. Try beating that conversation. But this isn't a one-off. More coins from the 1989 Denver Mint batch have surfaced, each one fetching thousands, sometimes tens of thousands, depending on condition and rarity. And the scariest part, most people who have them don't even know it. They toss them aside. Or worse, they spend them at a gas station on GUM. So how can you spot this life-changing coin? Hold that thought, we're getting there. The 1989 D Jefferson nickel has a few critical markers that make it valuable. Look just to the right of Thomas Jefferson's bust. You'll see a small D. That's the Denver Mint. On the reverse side, at Monticello, count the steps. If all 5 or 6 are visible and untouched, you're in rare territory. Some nickels from that year were struck with highly polished dies, making them appear shiny like proof coins. A few even have doubling or off-center strikes. Would you rather retire at 62 or 52 with a beachfront condo in Maui, sipping piña coladas on a Tuesday? This coin might just make that happen. Coin experts and collectors are hunting these nickels like gold. Right now, certified coin dealers are offering upwards of $25,000 for high-grade examples, and auction houses are lining up to bid 6 figures for pristine or rare error versions. But here's the danger. If you sell it too early or to the wrong buyer, you could be walking away from hundreds of thousands. So how do you cash in the smart way? Stick around, we're almost there. And trust me, you do not want to miss this next part. Alright, so you've got a nickel you think could be worth something. Here's your game plan. Inspect it closely. Use a magnifying glass or phone macro lens. Look for that D-mint mark, full steps on Monticello, and any striking errors. Get it graded. Send it to reputable services like PCGS or NGC. A graded coin fetches far more value and gives you credibility when selling. Don't sell to the first bidder. Auction it through certified dealers or auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stax Bowers. They'll help you reach serious collectors who are willing to pay big. But what if I told you? There are even more nickels worth 5 or 6 figures hiding in plain sight. We'll cover that in my next video. Imagine waking up tomorrow to find that a tiny nickel you've had tucked away in a jar is worth nearly $1 million. No, this isn't a fantasy. This is the very real story of the 1998 P-Mint Mark Monticello Thomas Jefferson nickel. A coin that's quietly rewriting the rules of wealth. Yes, a nickel. Worth more than a Lamborghini. More than some homes. Worth $934,000. Today, in 1998, while the internet was just taking off and Titanic was breaking box office records, the Philadelphia Mint was quietly producing millions of Thomas Jefferson nickels. Nothing seemed unusual until a rare anomaly surfaced. And no, it wasn't Jefferson suddenly winking at us from the coin, though that would have been pretty cool. A select few of these nickels, specifically those with the P mint mark, were struck with an exceptional level of detail. Their features were crisp. The Monticello building on the reverse popped with precision. And here's where things get fascinating. Numismatists, those are coin experts, not a cult, discovered that some of these coins were minted using proof dies, which are normally reserved for collector sets, not circulation. That mistake, that rarity, it changed everything. Suddenly, the everyday nickel became a financial lightning rod. Some sold for thousands. One recently sold for $934,000. And here's the kicker, the person who owned it had no idea. They found it in their father's old toolbox. So what makes this Jefferson nickel so valuable? Let's break it down. And don't worry, this won't be a boring history class where we all fall asleep faster than a cat in a sunbeam. Mint mark P significance. The P means it was minted in Philadelphia. That in itself isn't rare. But it's the combination of the P and the proof quality striking that makes it the holy grail. Full steps detail. Coin collectors go crazy for what's called full steps on the Monticello building. Basically, if you can count all the steps clearly, it's like having a ticket to financial freedom. Condition MS67 or higher, most nickels are pocket-worn, scratched, or smudged with decades of soda machine trauma. But if yours is in mint state 67 or better, you've got gold in nickel form. And here's what makes the story even more exciting. You don't need to be a millionaire already. You might have this coin in a junk drawer, an old coin jar, or inside that coffee can your grandpa refuse to throw away. But here's the dark side of the story. What if you have this coin and accidentally spend it on a coffee tomorrow morning? Now that you're scanning your couch cushions with the intensity of a treasure hunter, let's talk about how you can identify, verify, and cash in. Find and identify. Look for 1998 nickels with the P mint mark. Flip it over. Examine the Monticello. Do the steps look crisp and unbroken? Use a magnifier or coin app. A $10 magnifier, or even a coin app like CoinSnap could help you spot those full steps. Get a professional grading. If you think it looks promising, don't guess. Send it to PCGS or NGC for professional grading. That little plastic case? It's your certification and your bargaining chip. And no, your cousin Larry, who once sold a Beanie Baby for $40, doesn't count as a professional grader. Sell smart, don't jump at the first offer. Use platforms like Heritage Auctions or Great Collections. If your coin is in pristine condition, you could be looking at 6 figures or more. And now imagine this, what would life look like if you sold a nickel for nearly $1 million? Paying off the house, funding your kids' college, retiring early, maybe even starting that RV cross-country tour you've been dreaming about. Every day that passes, more of these rare nickels are being lost, damaged, or spent unknowingly. That's money. slipping through your fingers. One man found his in a dusty garage. Another spotted it in pocket change from a gas station. The next story could be yours. Don't let this be one of those what-if moments you regret later. Go check your coins right now, because the difference between a 5-cent coin and $1 million one is knowing what to look for. Subscribe for more rare coin secrets, hit the like button to spread the word, and share this video with someone who might be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. What if I told you there's a nickel in your pocket right now that could be worth $864,000? Yes, a 5-cent piece. And no, this isn't clickbait. It's real, it's rare, and it's changing lives. You're about to discover how one simple 1999 DeMint Mark Jefferson nickel, yes, the one with Monticello on the back, has turned everyday Americans into overnight millionaires. Someone opening an old coin jar, zoom into dusty nickels, then flash to an auctioneer slamming a gavel. Sold $864,000. But here's the kicker. This coin might be sitting in your home right now. And if you don't know what to look for, you might spend it at the gas station. Stay tuned, because in the next 10 minutes, you'll learn how to identify this treasure, what makes it valuable, and how to sell it for maximum profit before it's too late. Let's rewind. The year is 1999. Britney's on the radio. Y2K is terrifying your computer. And in Denver, a U.S. mint worker unknowingly strikes one of the most valuable Jefferson nickels in American history. It looked like any other nickel, Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, Monticello on the reverse, a DeMint mark below the date. But this wasn't just any coin. This one had a microscopic error, a minting anomaly so rare, it skyrocketed in value over time. Coin collectors call it the full steps variation, but the holy grail lies in a rare clash pattern and doubling on Monticello. These tiny details are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Most people throw this away, unaware they just let go of a 6-figure paycheck. Can you imagine tossing away $864,000 at a parking meter? That's like ordering a coffee at Starbucks and accidentally tipping them your retirement plan. So, what should you look for? Date and mint mark. You want a 1999 nickel with the D mark, meaning it was minted in Denver. Monticello full steps. Look at the steps on the Monticello building. If they're fully struck and sharp, you're in luck. Only a few of these exist. Die clash or doubling. Some of the highest value coins show visible doubling on Monticello's pillars or roof. It's almost ghost-like. This minting error is pure gold to collectors. Here's where it gets exciting. A similar coin, certified by PCGS, sold at auction for $864,000. That was in this decade. Coin values aren't shrinking, they're exploding. And as more of these coins are found and sold, the rarity decreases. So the best time to sell is now. But hang on, just because you have the coin doesn't mean you'll get top dollar. The next few minutes could mean the difference between a $50 sale or $500,000. Ready to cash in? Here's your $1 million playbook. Authenticate. Send your nickel to a certified grading service like PCGS or NGC. Don't sell raw unless you want lowball offers. Avoid pawn shops, they prey on desperation. What they'll offer you in coffee money, an auction house may pay in yacht money. Auction houses use reputable platforms like Heritage Auctions or Great Collections. These guys don't deal in pocket change. They sell to serious collectors worldwide. Pair your rare nickel with a compelling story. Believe it or not, the tale behind the coin can push the price higher. And no, saying, "I found it in my sock drawer while looking for a Pop-Tart," doesn't count as compelling.